Thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Now we need to get right to this, on track from what we were talking about in yesterday's video. Now, I know other channels are looking elsewhere and not talking about this as much. I got a lot of questions from some new subscribers. Why am I diving into this? Well, this channel is not about clicks. It's not about anything like that. It's just life-saving information. That is the goal here, is safety. And you could see it for yourself. As expected, what I was talking about yesterday, it is flaring up. This channel is not like other channels. Again, subscribe, don't subscribe, but I do want you to share this information because this big blob is developing overnight. St. Lucia, we had some heavier rain. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, I want to mention three spots. Puerto Rico, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. As this system gets better organized, it is going to lift up into that direction. And let me start with this, a map I don't often start with. It's a 3-day rain total. I'm going to get back to this in a second, but I just want to point out, here's Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. As this developing system lifts to the north, and I can't stress this enough, there is going to be extreme amounts of rain with this. You could see this kind of green shading we're seeing right here on the yellow shading. That is off my chart. So we could see some spots getting 250 millimeters of rain, some spots a foot and a half of rain out of this. That's why it's a big concern. Now, exactly where does this new developing storm end up? That is still a bit of a question, so I'm going to dive into that in this video. And of course, I want to get into what else is going on. We have Hurricane Hillary out there, a little development in the Gulf of Mexico and elsewhere in the tropics. But let's set the broad stage and let me show you what we've got going on. And I'll get back to Hillary and what's going on in the Gulf. This here, a new little tropical depression. Again, a spot I was watching, not a big issue. It's going to fall apart. All other stuff, of course, coming off the coast of Africa. But this area here, and I was giving you the lead time the last few days. Again, I know it wasn't highlighted initially by the National Hurricane Center, and it wasn't talked about on those other channels. But again, my focus is trying to give you that lead time. And I hope I was able to do that. Now, where does this system end up going? Well, here's what I want you to do. Again, safety, my number one concern with this channel. Tuesday into Wednesday in particular, that's where some extreme rain, and I don't use that word lightly, extreme, is going to lift to the north. So in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, I'd like you to make some initial preparations for the potential of extreme flooding. Now, here's the deal, and I can't say this enough. It's not going to be for all of us in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. I just don't. I tell you what I know and what I don't know. I don't know exactly where this is going to kind of feed up yet. But Puerto Rico, stretching back through Hispaniola, that's where we have the highest threat of extreme flooding as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. And again, you know how that goes. Puerto Rico, for example, we could not even get winds, but we get the rain, and that impacts the power grid. So again, that's something I'll be watching out for. But you see it here, this big flare-up right here, and we've had the heavy rain. I've been watching Trinidad and Tobago over the last 24 hours. We've had the isolated flooding over toward Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and again, some of the heavier rain in spots last night over towards St. Lucia. I've been watching Barbados, Dominica. We've seen some of the rain. So that is going to be the focus as I dive into that in a second. Here's that other tropical depression, not an issue. This one here stays out to sea. That's a blob. Two more tropical waves coming off the coast of Africa. It does look like both of those will try to develop. They are way out there. I'm keeping an eye on those, but again, those are way out there. But watching this flaring up, now this is going to eventually lift up to the north. But here's the question, does it lift up by Haiti and a little bit closer to Jamaica and eastern Cuba? Or does it lift a little bit earlier toward the British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico? That's still a question. Here's why. It is a developing system. The models and even just trying to analyze the environmental conditions, it's really hard to do so when the system hasn't had really a core yet. It's still in its infancy stages. It's still developing. So again, things are a little bit all over the place. But this is what I'm seeing. Now I know this map is a little crazy. This is going out in time. All these squiggly lines are those computer models. They're computers. This is 24 hours out, 48 hours out, 72 hours out. And what this is showing me over time, this green shading here is tropical storm force winds or tropical storm conditions. And again, all of the models, most of the models, lifting this right into tropical storm strength. And then even down the road, watch watching over toward Bermuda. This could spin up into a hurricane as it lifts more to the north, and I'll keep an eye on eastern Canada as well. Now, again, another kind of crazy map dissecting that. There's a lot of wind shear here, which is good because that rips apart storms. But right where this is developing, the winds above our head, that's where the wind shear would be. They've relaxed a little bit, and that is allowing this to organize before it kind of works its way to the north. So a lot of shear to the north, but not so much where it is developing, and that's why I expect more development of this system as we go throughout the day. Now, here's the modeling with this, and these are those squiggly lines again. And as this continues to move its way to the west-northwest, and I'll show you the steering conditions in a second, because my friends in Jamaica, Cuba were like, hey, is this coming our way? I'm watching it for Jamaica. I'm watching it for Cuba, but as of now, I'll show you the steering conditions. It does look like there'll be that turn to the north. Now, does it turn more toward Haiti, or does it turn more toward the Dominican Republic, or a little bit sooner toward Puerto Rico? Still hard to tell. The Dominican Republic, as of now, looks to be kind of the bullseye for this extreme rain. But again, from Haiti through Puerto Rico, again, we need to make those preps for flooding Tuesday and Wednesday. Not all of us are going to get it, but again, when you're dealing with it just a day or two away, you kind of need to make those preps. Not preps for a major hurricane. This is not a Maria. The biggest thing with this will be flooding. And again, I just can't quite fine tune exactly where it's going to go, but that is the spot right here that I'm watching. And here it is on the computer model. This is the American model, which has had a good couple weeks with forecasting systems, including Hillary out there in the Pacific. And you see that rain working in. This is by tomorrow, late tomorrow, as this system pulls away from Dominica, St. Lucia, Grenada. Again, we're going to get that backside rain, so the rain chance gets higher. Virgin Islands over toward Puerto Rico, still dry in Haiti. Here's Jamaica. And again, this is 2 o'clock tomorrow, but it's starting to develop. By tomorrow, it could become a tropical depression. Hurricane hunters will try to start flying this thing and get some better information. Now, by the time we get into Tuesday morning, that's when some of the heavy rain is going to lift in somewhere from Puerto Rico back through Haiti again. It's going to start to lift to the north, and I'll get to those steering conditions. By the way, ABC Islands, I do hope a couple spillover showers on the south side move in. Rain chance bumps up a little bit, not a ton, but it does bump up a little bit. Now, by Monday into Tuesday, this is by Tuesday night, it does try to spin up. If it stays over water a little bit longer before it moves into the Dominican Republic, this could become a very healthy tropical storm. But again, winds, yes, part of this system. I'll break down the winds in a second, but this heavy rain, but look how close of a call this is. We could have extreme rain, central Dominican Republic, and nothing in Haiti. But again, a little shift would change it. And that's why I was mentioning from Puerto Rico back through Haiti, all of us in here need to make those preps for flooding. It's going to be a very fine line, right, between nothing and then, again, some crazy rivers in some spots. So again, that is my caution. Now, as we go out in time, I'll be watching the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos as well. This will lift to the north, and it could kind of flare up again, and then even lift up toward Bermuda, potentially intensifying into a hurricane. So here are the Turks and Caicos. Haiti, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, here's Cuba, here's Puerto Rico, we have the Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda, watching St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. Now, these are the winds. Look at this white shading here. Those are winds of 80 kilometers an hour or 50 miles per hour. And this is by tomorrow morning. Strongest winds with this, again, are still over the water, kind of a sloppy system. It's trying to develop at this point. Again, this is tomorrow morning. Now, as we go out in time, this lifts up to the north, and it starts to get more of that circulation right there. And those winds, again, could be, by the time we get into tomorrow night, this could be a tropical depression or a tropical storm. But either way, some stronger winds getting into the south side of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Again, these are not hurricane force winds. Not seeing that, but again, watching some gustier winds. And then this system tries to really wrap up by Tuesday night, rather Monday night, into Tuesday. This is Tuesday midday, even trying to form a little bit of a center. And you can see it lifting up to the north, Haiti, Dominican Republic, some stronger winds. And we could get, if this wraps up, there's some red showing up here. We could get some winds of 110 kilometers an hour or 70 miles per hour in parts of the Dominican Republic, and maybe Haiti, maybe Puerto Rico. But again, it could flare up where we have winds of 110 kilometers an hour, 70 miles per hour. That would be a stronger tropical storm. And then lifting up to the north, Turks Turks and Caicos as of now, the early call, much like Haiti, would be most of the action would be off to the east. But again, a little bit too early to tell that because I need to see when it makes that curve. But either way, gustier winds all the way through Tuesday night as we work our way into Puerto Rico. Now, why is it going to make a turn? What are the steering conditions? Well, it looks like this could become a tropical storm. Now, what's going on is high pressure acts like a fence. It's like a barrier. If this area of high pressure is right here, that wouldn't allow it to go to the north. It would kind of block it, and then this would roll toward Jamaica. But this area of high pressure has moved away. There's a little front here, so there's a window for it to make the turn. And again, these things like the path of least resistance, they want to go to the north as a whole. That's their natural inclination. So with that, again, it will make that turn, but again, it's going to be kind of a sharper turn, so it's going to be a very close call. Does this move all the rain into Haiti or the DR, and then again watching Puerto Rico? So back to this map that I led with, and this is a concern, and this grabbed my attention as I was forecasting overnight, putting together this information for you. And you see this core here. This is extreme rain. This is life-threatening rain, mudslides, all that stuff, all that terminology. Again, but the issue will be if it's just a little bit over here, that will shift the impacts toward Haiti. If it's a little bit more over here, that would bring higher impacts to Puerto Rico. So I hope that makes sense. I know I'm repeating myself with that, but again, I'm just very concerned about this core of rain. It's not the biggest core of rain, but it's going to be somewhere in here. And again, this is off the chart. So easily with this black shading, we're going to have some spots of 150 millimeters of rain, but we're also going to get some spots in this upwards of 300 millimeters of rain Tuesday into Wednesday. So again, wherever this goes, we could be looking at some totals over a foot, over 12 inches of rain. And you know what that means across the tropics. You've dealt with that before, have seen that before. And again, that is crazy amounts of rain. Now, in the short term, for today and over the next couple days, Trinidad and Tobago, there'll be some more areas of rain around. We could get some spots that get 50 millimeters of rain or a couple inches of rain. That could lead to a little more isolated flooding. St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, again, wide variety of colors. We could have some spots around 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain again. And because we had the rain last night in spots and yesterday that I was talking about in yesterday's video, that could lead to more isolated flooding. And then we shift our attention up to the north. And again, this rain here, this would be more so by the time we get into Tuesday. But if all of this rain were to shift a little bit more toward Puerto Rico, that would also increase the rain over towards St. Martin, St. Bart's, Statia, Saba, for example, Montserrat, St. Kitts, and Nevis. So again, keeping a very close eye on my friends in the northeastern Caribbean over toward Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique. So we'll just see when it makes the turn. If it makes an earlier turn, that would mean higher totals there. So life-threatening flooding. I showed you the map, and I showed you my concerns with it, and you can see again the rain where this ends up is off the chart. So that is extreme flash floods and mudslides. And again, the river crossings, Haiti, if this comes into Haiti, they'll be impassable. And again, you try to take a vehicle through it, it would wipe it away. Now, this may stay off to the east of Haiti and over toward the Dominican Republic. Same thing. That would mean river crossings are impassable. You don't even want to try that. And that's why I mentioned making some of those preparations if you can today, because Tuesday and Wednesday may be stuck in place with that flooding that is all around, and I want you safe. And that is the whole point of this, is your safety. Gusty winds with this, as I mentioned, 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles per hour. Could be a little bit higher if it spins up, but I'm watching that track to see when it kind of makes that curve up to the north. Now, I'm going to get back to that. I want to get back to the forecast through the Caribbean. Let me take you into the Gulf as we work our way into Florida. Again, a little increased moisture around today because that rain in the Bahamas, that has moved in. Now, this has been very much on track. I know parts of Louisiana need some rain. I've been keeping an eye on my friends in Mississippi, Alabama, but this rain mainly down to the south. Now, it may develop a little bit. It could be a late spin up of this. This is by the time we get into tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, there is a chance this spins up into a tropical depression or a tropical storm because the water is so very warm. But either way, it's going to bring in some of that rain, really south of Houston for the most part, south of Houston, south of Beaumont, again, south of Louisiana. And you see some of the rain that will work in by tomorrow night and early on Tuesday, even some heavier amounts. And while we need the rain, sometimes you get it all at once and then you get flooding, which sounds almost crazy because you're in an extreme drought, and then you get some rain rain, and then you're dealing with flooding, watching over toward northern and northeastern sections of Mexico as well. And you see by Tuesday that rain will be working in. So I'll keep an eye on this. May spin up a little bit more, but watching out for that rain, and boy, do we need it in parts of Texas. Next name on the list is Emily. Now, I don't know which area will get Emily. It looks a little more likely like this spot that I've been tracking in the Caribbean gets Emily. We'll see. Franklin, and then Gert after that, Harold as we get down the road. Now, as we work our way into the Eastern Pacific side, by the way, Eastern Pacific has a totally different set of names. Here is Hillary. Hillary has been weakening because of the land interaction and because of the cooler water, and that is expected. The weakening from this has been expected. Winds right now at about 80-ish miles per hour, and eventually it'll be a tropical storm later today, but all on track, just feeding that moisture in. Now, looking in parts of Mexico, again, over toward the Baja, I've been watching the scenes overnight. There has been that flooding around, the mudslides around, just the water just absolutely rushing, so know that I'm thinking of you throughout the day. And then as we get back toward the southwest portions of the United States, there's already been flooding in parts of Nevada, California, watching western Arizona. There's the heaviest rain though. It's still to the south. That forecast I had for you yesterday, right on track. Heaviest rain moves in later today and tonight. So if you've got the flooding now, it's only going to get worse, and that's why there's going to be that's why all the warnings are out across southern California into parts of Nevada and watching western sections of Arizona. So this is not usual for this area, but here is Hurricane Hillary. It will become a tropical storm and then weaken, but the rain becomes that major threat as it works inland. So here's the model on this, and the American model did better than the European model with this. American model, again, showing that rain feeding in. As I mentioned a few days ago, we had that predecessor rain event. There was rain ahead of the system, and that's a big issue because, again, as I showed you, the core of the rain is still down to the south, so that's still got to work in. So it's just going to add to the totals. You see as we get into tonight, into tomorrow, again, some of the heaviest weather working in. So this is tonight right around midnight, and look at that, the rain stretching all the way up through Nevada. And again, thinking of our friends here with flooding, the terrain is not going to be able to handle this. This is not exactly typical, and that rain even feeding up toward Boise. So again, getting up toward Idaho, very, very unusual system with that. There are the winds. Now the winds are going to diminish some, but because of the rain and the ground getting saturated very quickly, and because of the types of vegetation, there's going to be issues with power lines down and trees down. Winds will start to die off, taking out in time. This is later today, but later today, the strongest winds start to work into Southern California and Southern Arizona, where winds will be around 50 miles per hour and still around 50 miles per hour as we get into tonight. So again, and you see it extending all the way up toward Vegas. Vegas winds could be around 50 miles per hour. On top of it, of course, the flooding. You'll see the scenes coming out throughout the day. So very strong winds, relatively speaking, working into this area, then lifting up through Nevada by the time we get into tomorrow morning. So again, later today, southwestern United States, conditions go downhill right at mid-afternoon, and then the worst weather after that all the way through tonight into tomorrow morning. And the rain totals, again, all on track. You see this black shading here. That would be upwards of 6 inches of rain. Some spots could get upwards of a foot of rain, over a year's worth of rain in just a short period of time, just a day or two. So again, the name on this list, that is Hillary. Different set of names on the Eastern Pacific side. Next name on the list will be Irwin. So again, watching the rain now as we get back toward the Caribbean, then I want to recap stuff for you in just a second. St. Lucia today, that high chance of rain, that forecast is already panned out because we've had the rain. It may have woken you up last night. Again, same thing in Barbados. Not all day in Barbados, but it just depends on how these kind of bands start to wrap into this developing system. Same thing with Trinidad and Tobago. Some of the rain kind of feeding in from the south, back from Venezuela up through Trinidad and Tobago, monitoring the flooding. High chance of rain, Grenada, we're monitoring the flooding. But you see as we get down the road, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for example, the rain chance does start to drop off as this system starts to pull away. My friends in Jamaica, 40 to 50% chance of scattered showers and storms. No, I'm keeping an eye on this system. I don't see a big change that would sweep this into Jamaica. But again, I watch out for any changes. I do expect it to make that turn, and I showed you why with those steering conditions. Bahamas, again, a lot of that rain from the Bahamas feeding out, but then we start to look to the south, Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, because we're going to be watching some of that rain that will start to work in later this week. Belize, rain chance 30 to 40% over the next couple of days. As we get back toward the Cayman Islands, 40 to 50% chance of a passing shower or storm. Turks and Caicos, 40 to 50% chance, but midweek, I'll be watching that rain coming in from the Dominican Republic. I'll keep an eye on the Turks and Caicos. Could be just off to the east. I'll keep a very close eye on that forecast for you. Guadeloupe, watching out for some areas of downpours today. Guadeloupe, Dominica, again, those tropical downpours. So we'll see some areas of flooding for today that will be around in spots. Same thing as we work our way into Martinique. Now, as we get into Puerto Rico, again, all eyes will be on this system. Is it mainly over toward the Dominican Republic, or does it roll right into Puerto Rico? Again, the highest threat. Every storm is different. We've had those incredible and just devastating wind events like Maria. You've had Irmas out there. But again, this is a rain event with us. So there'll still be some gusty winds, but the rain, the biggest threat. Watching that Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be able to fine tune that for you as we go over the next really day or so to give you the very latest. U.S. British Virgin Islands, same thing. Just how close does this system get? Working our way into Haiti, all eyes on Tuesday. If this rolls into Haiti, just rolls right into Haiti, that would be devastating flooding in some spots. Same thing in the Dominican Republic. Again, actually, I need to update this. Again, same thing in the Dominican Republic, where we'd see that very high chance of rain moving in. Ignore that forecast I just showed you for the DR. I covered the DR extensively. Again, that rain chance getting a lot higher with this system moving in. Make those preps. St. Kitts and Nevis, 50% chance today and tomorrow as we work our way into Antigua, Barbuda, 40 to 50% chance. Keeping an eye on that moisture. Same thing, Anguilla, rain chance up to 40% by tomorrow, 40 to 50% chance. St. Martin, Sabastacia, if this is a little bit more to the east, I'll increase that forecast for you and increase that rain chance. Aruba, hopefully Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, we get clipped by some showers. Yes, most of this off to the east and north, but there is a chance of some passing showers, so keep me posted. Costa Rica, rain chance the next 2 days stays at 70%, 40% chance as we work our way into northern Venezuela the next couple of days. Isolated over toward Guyana, a 30% chance, and mainly dry with just a passing shower storm as we work our way into Suriname. So again, tropical storm impacts likely now for the Dominican Republic. That could also be Haiti. That could also be Puerto Rico. I'm monitoring this for any quick strengthening just because the water is so warm. But flooding, that is the biggest issue with that life-threatening flooding, mudslides, and gusty winds wherever this rolls in. And clearly, it's been a very active August. It was started off very quiet, but again, it is now very active. Know that I'm watching the other areas out there as well. In the next name on the list, that will be Emily. So Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, please make some initial preps for flooding, especially in the DR. We're going to see that core of rain surging in. I'll keep you up to date on that. Do another video as needed. Please share this information. Thank you for being part of this channel. Have a good rest of your day.